Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, into another new episode. First, I want to say thank you very much because finally, 3 weeks in political analysis, our channel have actually been accepted in the YouTube partnership programs. And so I think for our viewers, you will be seeing adverts that will be running in those videos. I want to say from deep from my heart, thank you. And also, let me give my shout out of the day to Christopher Musumbu, if I'm not wrong, and also Resho Injete. Amazing. Thank you very much. Now, today, there are two significant political events that happened in this country. William Ruto met with UDA MPs at Karen residence. Then today at 8:30, Musalia Mudavadi spoke for the first time in an exclusive interview at KTN News. Remember, this is the first interview he's doing after joining William Ruto. Now, so I'll not divulge more. That was just an update. But there is also an update that this is now very special for me. In this channel, I want to check this video here because I opined that it was time for William Ruto to get a professional communication person. Today, I don't know whether someone from UDA or William Ruto watched my analysis here, but today he has hired the former Citizen TV news anchor Hussein Mohammed to join the UDA communication team. So that has come to happen. That was my prophecy. It was my advice, but I think that has happened. Now, I want us to get to our analysis of the day and our analysis on behind the scene MOU, a highly guarded MOU between Uhuru, Raila, and One Kenya Alliance principles that made Musalia Mudavadi to run away from OKA. I have that dossier here, and of course we are going to do a critical analysis on that. So I'm going to give you a blow-by-blow account on how that deal was actually brokered. So that is something that I want to give. So guys, if you're new to this channel, take a second and subscribe. Also, more importantly, give this video a like, and after subscription, there is the notification bell down there. Click that notification bell because when we upload a video, YouTube will be notifying you. More importantly, comment and talk to us about our topic today. The question of this video is this: what do you think Musalia Mudavadi is going to take to William Ruto? What does he bring on table? Now, just before we delve into that broker, in that deal, that MOU, I listened to Musalia Mudavadi at KTN News today, and I want to concur with Francis Atwoli that that speech that Musalia Mudavadi read yesterday was actually scripted by William Ruto campaign team. I want to believe that because, for one, in that interview, he is really struggling to open up. I am a journalist by profession. So one thing I know is there are two types of questions when you're doing an interview: the closed and open-ended questions. So the KTN journalist tried to make Musalia Mudavadi to speak out, but he looks more reserved. He wants to talk about Azimio la Umoja. He wants to talk about President Uhuru Kenyatta, the way Uhuru Kenyatta is the person sponsoring Raila Odinga's campaigns, but he looked more reserved. He doesn't want to talk about it. And I want you to take a second and listen to this part where he actually said that the owners of Azimio la Umoja, in direct terms, are President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I agree with him. But listen to the way he was struggling to answer this question.
And how are they doing that?
Latif, if you are campaigning and you're on the run, would you be spending so much money building extraordinary tents for a 2-hour meeting dotted all over the country.
That is a very cryptic question, Mheshimiwa. I have absolutely no clue what you're asking.
Look at all those hammers and tents being built. Would a politician be spending that on branding from his pocket?
Are you insinuating that there's a deeper pocket that's spending this?
I think so.
And the deeper pocket here being state coffers?
Well, I can tell you that who doesn't know the inclination of the politics of the day? And I will not have to say anything else on that.
Now that is the man Musalia Mudavadi. Also, let's debunk something here. Mudavadi is saying in that interview that when KANU invited Raila Odinga and Wiper also invited Raila Odinga in their respective NDCs, he attended and he didn't have a problem. But I don't think Musalia Mudavadi, now if I'm not wrong, Musalia Mudavadi said that the OKM members were a little bit nervous when he invited William Ruto in his NDC. Because William Ruto, according to him, William Ruto is his friend. So he's faulting the reason why these other guys were walking out. But this is what I want to say. I am not sure about the KANU. But I remember the Wiper NDC, Raila Odinga announced a day earlier that he had received the invitation and he was going to attend. So Mudavadi should not lie that Kalonzo did not tell him that he was inviting Raila Odinga. Secondly, let's be honest here, guys. If Musalia Mudavadi was inviting William Ruto to that NDC, and this was nothing political, did he really want Kalonzo and Gideon Moi to stay in that and listen to all that speech where he will publicly say, discredit President Uhuru Kenyatta, discredit Azimio la Umoja, while at the back of his mind he has said that some of Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi's friends are not his friends. Secondly, he spoke about an ANC UDA working together. He had not informed other people. He had not informed the other OCA principals. Really, honestly, did he really want that one to be the way? The rest to wait and see? You can guess about that. Let's get to our analysis of the day. On 25th February, President Uhuru Kenyatta met the One Kenya Alliance principals. That meeting was held in Statehouse here in Nairobi. That was in 2021. In that meeting, and that is the meeting, the photo you're seeing here, the photo that was taken during that meeting, the Statehouse in Mombasa. So in that meeting, the building bridges, they were actually discussing the building bridges initiative, and the president was categorical that these OKM members will work with Raila Odinga to make sure that the BBI sails through. I remember by then, the face of the BBI by then was it going to the national assemblies. Not the National Assembly, but to the county assemblies. After that meeting, the following week, the county assemblies were actually debating the BBI. And by that time, Uhuru addressed these fellas. And actually the person who spoke after that meeting was none other than Gideon Moi. That meeting was also attended by Charity Ngilu, if I'm not wrong, and Oparanya. So after that, the BBI went through, but when they came out of Mombasa meeting, then they formalized the breakup from NASA coalition. And let me tell you, on 1st July, that's when the OKA was formed. The One Kenya Alliance was actually formed. Now, on 10th August the same year, President Uhuru Kenyatta held another meeting with now the One Kenya Alliance in State House, and this meeting was held in Mombasa. This is the photo here. So in this meeting, Uhuru actually told these OKM members, and they agreed. They signed an MOU that they were going to field one candidate, including all of them, including the OKA members, Raila Odinga, and actually I think Uhuru Kenyatta was also speaking in his capacity as Jubilee party leader. They were going to field one candidate. And let me say, these are all happened when they were in agreement that of course they needed to. But when they walked out, of course there were voices of dissent. Musalia Mudavadi came out and said that they were being coerced to reach out to one candidate. That was on 10th August. Then the following week, that was on 16th August. I remember very well, it was either Wednesday or Tuesday. They retreated to Naivasha. OKA members went to Naivasha. When they went to Naivasha meeting, they went to discuss the proposal by President Uhuru Kenyatta. And they were like, okay, are we going to support Raila Odinga or not? But there were those voices of dissent. But then if you remember very well, it was after the Naivasha retreat by OKA members in August that they came out and they gave Kenyans promise that they were going to name their flag bearer before the end of September. Ayub Savula, who is the person that has released this dossier, is saying that after that something happened. Ayub Savula is saying that after the Naivasha retreat, because at this moment Ayub Savula was the deputy party leader of ANC. So he was ANC, he was Musalia Mudavadi's right-hand man. That is why you see the moment Anne Waiguru was actually taken to EACC, it is Ayub Savula who was sent by Mudavadi to go and show solidarity, if you remember that bit. Now, Ayub Savula says that they met at Karen residence and they met at the home of Eugene Wamalwa. So it was Ayub Savula, Eugene Wamalwa. It's also reported that Kenneth Marende also attended that meeting. And that meeting had a blessing of Francis Atuoli. So when they met, they agreed that they also met with Raila Odinga. It was Raila Odinga, Eugene Wamalwa, Kenneth Marende, Ayub Savula, and Wetangula also knew, and Atuoli also knew of that meeting. But then Ayub Savula was representing Musalia Mudavadi. Now in that meeting, they tried to convince Raila Odinga to go and talk to Uhuru so that Musalia Mudavadi could be his running mate. And I want you to get this bit. Remember, they had signed an MOU in Statehouse in August that they were going to field one presidential candidate. And I'm told this MOU, the original copy, remained with President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was only one copy, and that copy, it's only Uhuru Kenyatta who remained with it. That tells you the way Uhuru Kenyatta is really managing his succession politics. So after they told Mudavadi about it, after they discussed, but then in agreement, there was also another agreement here, that because Raila Odinga, in the event that Musalia Mudavadi will be Raila Odinga's running mate, then Central Kenya will get 50% of cabinet slots. I discredit that. That is not possible. That is not practical. Because really when it comes to cabinet, all the other regions want to be represented. So that was also discussed. Then Ayub Savula is saying he went and met Musalia Mudavadi after 3 days and told Mudavadi of the deliberations of that meeting. But Mudavadi told him, hold your horses. Tulia kwanza na hiyo alliance ya Musalia Mudavadi. Hiyo alliance yako na Raila Odinga. So that was somewhere in September. But guys, interestingly, the MOU was that they were going to field one presidential candidate. So the question is, at what point did Musalia Mudavadi turn his back from Oka? This takes me to the interview he just had at KTN News. He said that he started reading suspicion towards the end of December, toward the end of last year. What this tells you is Musalia Mudavadi started quoting William Ruto earlier, but he could not make it very clear to OKA members because while Gideon Moi was an ally, was really an eye of President Uhuru Kenyatta, I think Musalia Mudavadi had really decided that they really had an inside game to work with William Ruto. So the MOU was that they were going to field one presidential candidate. Someone might be asking, why is it that they wanted Musalia to be Raila Odinga's running mate? This is not out of the moon. Musalia Mudavadi was Raila Odinga's running mate in 2013, in 2007 rather. So it's not something that is out of the blues. Now, I wanted to ask yourself critical questions here. What do Musalia Mudavadi bring on table? What does he bring? Because in 2013, he got 456,000 votes. But the majority of those votes were from Central Kenya. Today, he's with UDA, and if he doesn't get the top two slots, if his name is not on the ballot paper, maybe as a running mate of a presidential candidate, what can he bring on table? Do you think Musalia Mudavadi have voters, really loyal supporters, that are going to work with him? Because as to what I've seen this night, is that Huisero MP, someone called Aseka, has ditched Jubilee, has ditched ANC, and is heading to Azimio la Umoja. Kenneth Marende, who was his closest handman, have also left ANC and joined DAPK. Guys, I think in critical look, Musalia Mudavadi decision to work with William Ruto is not something that happened overnight. This is something that was well researched, and they had planned earlier enough. So he was determined that he was not going to work with Raila Odinga. So lastly, let me say, why do you think he can't work with Raila Odinga? And I've said it here, and I want to repeat, that Musalia Mudavadi doesn't have a personal grudge with Raila Odinga. No. It is not about him not being invited in that mock swearing in. Even if Musalia was to be invited in that swearing in, he couldn't have attended, because according to them, they insisted that that was a treasonable offense. So that is not the problem. The only issue here is Raila Odinga presidency is going to block Musalia Mudavadi from ascending to that office in 2027. If Raila becomes president in 2022, Musalia Mudavadi is out of this matrix. So he has to try everything best to make sure that at least William Ruto or any other candidate, but not from Western Kenya, because he cannot inherit Raila Odinga. But I think he made a blunder, because if he would have stayed with Raila, then it's very easy for Nyanza and Western to vote in one basket. Even if in 2022 he can be a viable running mate for a presidential candidate with the blessings of Raila Amolo Odinga. Guys, that's my analysis. And now I just wanted to talk about that MOU that Musalia Mudavadi decided to run away from. Thank you, guys. In my next video, we are looking at Azimio la Umoja meeting in Murang'a. Yes, so check out for that.